Hello students, welcome back to another video here. Today we're going to take a look at the Chapter 2 practice test. So it's the test prep for your test next week. And it is based on Chapter 2 where we're going to be designing some queries. And it has been assigned in the MyITlab software. And what we're looking at is the AS Parks and Recreation Outings Chapter 2 grader assignment. And so as you can see, I have it open at this moment. We've got a table and we've got a couple of queries in which we're going to add more and make some modifications. I have the instructions printed out, so I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, I will be keeping you guys focused on what's important. Okay, so I need to enable content, as you all should as well, so I will do that now, and that should allow me to work within the database. Step number one is to make sure you save it as your last name, first name. Again, just be careful with that because there is a limitation on the characters. So there's no marks for it. Just make sure somewhere in there it has your first name and last name. And that should be similar to what happens next week in your test. So please be careful of that so that there are no issues. All right, so step 2, it says open the outings table in the datasheet view. In the last column, okay, so let me just do that first. It says open this in datasheet view. It says in the last column, add a currency calculated field with the expression fee times 0.35 and then give it a name of discount. So we know how to do this. We've done this before. We're going to go to click to add. We're going to go down to calculated field at the bottom, and we need to do a currency calculated field. Once that is there, now we can actually double click on fee and then multiply it by 0.35. Once we've done that, once we click OK, it's going to ask us to give the name or the field a name, and so we are going to type in discount. If anybody catches any errors that I do, please put them in the comments, and that way everyone else could catch on if that happens, and hopefully it won't. So after we've done that, it says save and close the table. No problem. So I'm going to click on the save disk, which is out of view right now, but it's at the top left corner. Save, and then it says to close the actual table. Done. So that's step 2. Step 3, it says create a new query in design using the design button, query design, and then add a table to the query. And then add the following fields in these orders. Okay, so this is simple stuff. So we're going to go to create on the ribbon. We're going to go to the query design, which is here. Then it says to add the table. And as we mentioned in previous classes, mine shows up in the middle. Yours might show up on the right, but either way, I have to add it and then close this dialog box. Perfect. It says to add the following fields in order. Outing name, 1. Closing date, or sorry, outing date. So I'm going to double check it. Category. So be very careful. I'm going to make this larger so I can see them all. Fee. And that new field we created, which was discount. So let me confirm. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. It says to then move on to step 4. Step 4 says add criteria so that only the outings in the climb category or the kayak category display. All right, so let's go and do that. That would be in the category, I believe, over here. And so we need to type in climb. Let me move my mouse. So we got to do climb and, or kayak. Let's try that. Tab out. Okay, so we've got climb or kayak. That looks good. That's supposed to be 10 marks. Step 5 says to add criteria so that only climb and or kayak outings between June 1st and June 30th, 2018 will appear. Okay, so this changes it up a little bit. So we've got the climb or kayak is the category. That's great. But it also has to be on the same line, the criteria. A date has to be involved here. So we're looking at 061. Actually, I should be writing in between, right? It's supposed to be between 06-01 2018 and 06/30 2018. And let's see if it's going to reformat it for us so it looks good. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so you can kind of get an idea of the whole magnitude. All right, cool. So now we've got two criterias in the same row, because if you look at those two questions, it says very clearly that it has to be climb or kayak and it has to fall within that time frame. So that's pretty cool. It says save the query with the name discounts. So we're going to go to the disk at the top again, which you can't see, but it's there. I'm going to type in discounts. Make sure I spell everything correctly. That's worth 4 marks. I'm going to click OK. Perfect. So now you'll notice that the discounts query has fallen under the list here that we have. All right, so step 7, it doesn't say to close anything, so we're on to step 7. It says in the first blank column, add a calculated field with the alias of discounted fee, and the expression should subtract the discount from the fee. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to go to this first column that we have here. We're going to make sure that we're on the Design tab at the very top, and we're going to click on our Builder button here. When we click on the Builder, it's going to open up our expressions. And so basically what they want us to do here is they want us to take the discount away from the fee. So it's fee minus discount. And then click OK. And so what happens is it should be down here now. This is our information. But because it asked for an alias, we need to change EXPR1. We need to change it to discounted fee without a space. So that's very, very important. Discounted fee without a space. So it should look something along those lines there. All right, at this point it says to run the query and verify that 6 records display. Set the discounted fee column to best fit, save, and then close the query. And it gives us no marks for that. That's nice of them. So let's take a look. So we're going to run it. And I've got 25 records. So obviously I've done something wrong. So let's make sure that we go back and triple check to make sure that we didn't make any errors. So just hold on, we'll take a look. Go back here. Okay, so we got criteria, category. Okay, climb or kayak, that looks good. And let's take a look here between 06. Oh, here's my error. If you guys didn't see it, I got an 01. I forgot a 1 right there. Something so simple, just like that. The 18 was a 208. That's a little bit of a problem. All right, so let's run that again. And voila, we've got ourselves 6 records. So you can see just from that little experience that if you miss something so minuscule, it will completely mess up your queries and database. So very, very important. Happens to the best of us. All right, so at this point it says to verify that, we got to make sure that these are all set to best fit. And so we just highlight all the tops, go to field width, and choose best fit. Perfect. So that's what they want us to do there. Again, no marks, but hey, that's what they want. And we got to save it and close it. Excellent. So that's the end of step 8. Step 9, it says use the simple query wizard to create a query named adult outings with these fields in the following order. Okay, so this one's a little different. We're going to go to create at the top. We're then going to use the query wizard. And it says simple query wizard, which we have right here at the top. It's perfect. Click OK. And now it says to add the following fields in order. So we got outing name. We move that over there. We've got a leader. We've got an outing date. And minimum age category. All right, cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We look good. And then it says to, we got to be careful here because there's some steps involved. Click next. And then it says, step 10, it says set the adult outings query to sort in the outing name column in ascending order. Okay, so we're going to take a look next, just make sure it's not here. Okay, we got to give it a name here. This is supposed to be called adult outings. With a space, looks like that. It's perfect. And what we're going to do, we're going to click finish. And once that is set up, what we're going to do now for step 10 is we're going to go and we're going to make sure that we're in design view. So home tab, design view. And step 10 says set the adult outings query to sort by outing name column ascending order. So we're going to go to sort over here and we're going to choose ascending. Perfect. So that's 4 marks for step 10. Step 11 says to add criteria so that the minimum age must be 18 years of age or older. Run the query, verify that 20 records display, and then save and close the query. So that's why the minimum age field is there, because we need to go and add a criteria. And the criteria is greater than or equal to, don't forget those 18-year-olds, greater than or equal to 18, right? Because it's 18 or older. Now we're going to run the query. We're supposed to have 20 records, which we do. And once we have that, then they want us to save and close the query. Perfect. Done. Step 12 now for 10 marks. It says, in the category statistics query, add the total row and group by category, and then for each group, count the outing dates and the average fees. Okay, so 10 marks, not too bad. So we're going to go to the category statistics. We're going to right click on it and open in design view because we need to make changes. We need to add some criteria. So go design view. It's already built for us, which is nice. And so there's just a couple steps that we got to do. The first thing is we need to click on the totals row here at the top. And you'll notice that it's grouped by all 3, but we only need it grouped by the category, which is fine. It says then for each group, count the outing dates and the average of the fees. Okay, so that's simple. Outing date, we're going to change this from group to count, and fee from group to average. And I'm just going to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything there, because that seems pretty easy for 10 marks. Yep, looks good. Step 13, it says to change the outing date caption to number of outings and the fee caption to average fee. And then it says for fee, change the format to currency. So that's great. So first things first, let's go to let's see here, outing date. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the property sheet, and the caption for outing date should be, as it says, number of outings. So we'll go number of outings, and be careful with your spelling and your capitals so you don't run into problems. So number of outings, verify that's good. And then I'm going to flip over to the fee, and this caption is supposed to be average fee with a space, average fee, and the format is to be currency. Perfect. And so that is for 8 marks. It says to run the query and verify only 7 records. So I'm going to run the query at this point. I'm going to verify that there are 7 records. That looks fantastic. It says set the columns to best fit, no problem. So I'm going to select them, right click, field width, best fit. So that looks fantastic. My currency looks great. Everything is good. Average fee, awesome. It says now to save and then close the query. So I'm going to save it and close it. Step 15, the last step that gives us any marks. This one here, we need to add some criteria to the duplicate names query so that the duplicate spellings for the leader, Alec kills, so K-I-L, we can get the multiple spellings of it because there has been issues, I guess, running the report in the past. So it wants us to display this using the single wildcard character in one single criterion. Okay, so that's fine. It makes sense. Let's go and go into the duplicate names query. We're going to right click on it, design view. And so basically what they're asking us to do is to add a criteria that allows us to look for anything that is like Alec K-I-L. And so we know that it could be K-I-L, K-I-L-L, K-I-L-L-S. So from our experience, the wildcard character that we need to use is the asterisk, the star. And because there's multiples, we got to use the word like. And then we can do, in quotations, Alec, K-I-L, with a star. Because it could be multiple letters after the K-I-L. Then I'm going to close the quotations and tab out. So this looks like this is going to work for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the query and double check. So we run it. There are 17 records. Fantastic. And you can also see all of the different spellings for Alec that is in the system. So that is perfect. At this point, we need to save the database, close the query, and for step 16, they want you to close the entire database as well. So I hope you found this little tutorial helpful. And obviously, if you have any questions at all, you know you can always reach me by email. And hopefully you guys are studying hard for your next test, which is next week. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon.